Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, and today I'm going to give you 5 things to think about, 5 things that you can do or need to do and think about to be an amazing prospector. That is your main job every day, is to be prospecting and looking for business, and some things to think about every day. I know I've gone over this many times in other videos, but it's something that you need to think about and remind yourself every day before you get on the phone, or before you go door knocking, or before you go to a networking event, or go anywhere where you know that you're going to be meeting people and thinking about building a relationship or following up with them. So here are the 5 things. Number 1, it's simply be present. Be present. When you're building a relationship with someone and having a conversation with them, I see it a lot. I do it myself sometimes with people by accident. I'm not paying attention, or I'm having a conversation with someone that I unfortunately think it's just a casual conversation, and I'll look at my phone. I'll do text. I'll look at my phone, or have to repeat myself, or ask them a question again because what did you just say? I'm sorry. Be present. And that happens on the phone too. You've had conversations with people. I'm like, are they listening? Are they asking me questions? Are they paying attention to what I'm saying? So as simple as that, because it's happened to you. You know that it's happened to you when you've gone into a store or had someone that's helping you, customer support somewhere, where they're just not paying attention or just not being 100% there for you. And how does that make you feel? Same thing for you. But this is a long-term relationship for being with people. So sometimes when you're not present, I feel that people think you're not genuine, you're just making a sales call, you're just doing it to do it and not be present and asking questions and thinking about them and what's best for them. So that's number 1. Number 2, have the right attitude. The right attitude is this. There's many different ways to look at attitude, but this is the number 1 thing I tell people about their attitude, or agents, when they're making their prospecting calls. You are not selling them something. You are calling to help them. You are not selling something. You're not selling insurance. You're not selling a product. You're not selling something and convincing them to buy anything right now. You're calling to the opportunity to help them with the purchase or sale of their biggest investment someday in their life. Could be now, could be next week, could be next month, could be next year, could be 5 years. So when you have that attitude, and you really believe that you have that attitude, that you're calling and work on your scripts of what you're going to tell people, it comes off as, I'm calling because I want to help you. And when people feel like, wow, they're calling to help me when I'm ready, and you've got to practice that. You got to practice. You got to role play. You've got to work with a colleague, work with your friends, your spouse, your children somewhere. You got to practice having the way to be present and have the right attitude of why you're making these prospecting calls. Number 3, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to expect all different things. Like, what do you mean when you make your calls? You have to be ready for a yes. You have to be ready for a no. You have to be ready for a don't ever call me again. You have to be ready for all those different things. And you will get ready when you make those. You make enough phone calls over enough period of time, or make enough connections with people, you'll see what the responses of people are, and be ready for them, and have the responses ready for someone that says, yes, we're looking to buy. Don't act surprised. Oh my God, I got someone. Now what? What are you going to do when someone said yes? What are you going to say? No, I don't. You don't need to follow up with me. Yes, I would like to use me in the future. Be ready for them. Well, I have a friend or relative that's an agent. I'll be using them. What are you going to say to them? This video could go on and on just about this topic. Is be ready for the responses, so you're not surprised and what your objection handling skills and scripts will be after they reply to something. So a lot of agents and salespeople practice, but they're just practicing their opening line. They're not practicing, now what are you going to say when you get a response? And what are you going to say after that? And even how you hang up the phone, how you leave a conversation, practicing that. What's your last sentence you're going to say? What are you going to say to help get them to say, yes, follow up with me in the future? Again, this could be a whole class or a video on what to say and role playing. But I just want to have you think about these things. And number 4, set your daily goals before you start making your calls. What's your daily goal? You could be as I'm going to make 25 calls today. I'm going to call until I make one appointment and find someone that's looking to buy or sell now. Goal could be I'm following up on these 25 people in my database. I'm going to build my database today. I'm going to ask these people that I've been calling for months, years, decades for referrals and people to build my database. So what's your goal? And a lot of agents are usually their goals, I'm looking for someone to buy or sell now. That is a great goal to have and to do that, but you have to have other goals too of like, I want to make sure I make these many calls. I want to add people to my timeline. I want to add people to get their email. I want to get their address. I want to send them a gift of some sort. You can send people gifts if it doesn't equal business. You know what I mean? You can't say, I will send this to you if you buy a house from me. You're not supposed to do that. But you can send people gifts at any time. If someone gives you a referral of someone, say, I would like to send you a gift. I would like to send you something, a mug, whatever. It could be anything of value. You could send people things if they're just, hey, if you give me 2 names of people to add to my sphere of influence of these are the people, my core people, the people I want to help, because I only deal with referrals only, and only people that I respect and are part of my network. That's how I add people. I don't just take random people. That's just off the top of my head something to say. And I'd love to send you for the effort. You're allowed to pay for leads. Agents pay for leads all the time. They're writing checks to Zillow, Realtor.com to get leads, but it's not equal business. You can't. That's a kickback. So if you have questions on that, you're a Century 21 agent, call me. If you're an agent with any other company, of course, reach out to your broker, your manager, your team leader before you send anything out and what you do, just to make sure you're following the rules. Number 5 and last, believe that you are the best agent for the job. And have those talking points and bullet points of why you are. You've got to be ready. If someone, that's one of the things, 2 numbers back, is be ready. If someone says, why should I use you? Be ready for that reply. Someone says, well, I have 5 other agent friends, and when I bought this house 5 years ago, I used this agent. Why should I use you over anybody else? Got to be ready for that. You got to be ready with what to say, and you got to believe it, because again, so many times I've seen it said in any of these videos is that every agent has the ability or has the tools, the technology to be just as good or better than anybody else. The top agents and successful agents in our industry don't have something special that you don't have, can't get, or can't learn, or can't do. It's a fact. Just some people have a more natural ability to it. More people have a work ethic that gets them better and better and better. Some people outwork other agents that don't do as much work. There's no magic bullet, magic pill, magic lead source that makes someone automatically successful in real estate. But everybody has the same ability. It doesn't matter, what or where you came from. Doesn't matter what your age is. Doesn't matter what your past job was. It doesn't matter if you're starting this as your second career, third career, you're doing this full-time, part-time, or where you're going with real estate. You have all of the things that can do it. There's nothing you can't learn or can't do in this business. So be ready with to explain why you're the best agent for the job when they're ready to buy or sell. So hopefully those 5 things give you something to think about today. And when you're prospecting, because you should be prospecting, you should have done it already today. In the morning is great. And the last thing I'll say to you, something to think about, and I say this so much because at 51 years old, I'm not that old, but 30 years in the business, this is the best in time. I wouldn't say easiest, because nothing gets easier. You just get better at what you're doing in this business. But the ability to communicate, connect, advertise, and build relationships with people because of technology and just the way we are as a society of connecting with people is so much easier than it was 30 years ago when I got into real estate. It's so much easier. Could you imagine anybody out there that has any idea of what things and tools and technology and people's way of life 30 years ago compared to is today? You have more, the easier, again, I shouldn't say easier, but you have more avenues, technology, ideas, and people are more open to building a network or or connection with people. Can you imagine TikTok, Instagram? People are building relationships with people they don't even know. But if those people called them, they would know them and would do business with them, and they've never talked to them, but they built a relationship with over watching videos and things. You might have someone like that in your mind right now. You're like, that person that I've been watching on Facebook, a friend of a friend that's doing this, if they called me because I've seen their life, I'd do business with them. Think about that there's people out there that you're watching, see on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. If they called you and said, hey, I see that you're following me, you're liking my things, you're sending me messages, I do this. Would you buy something from me? Would you use my service? You go, yes, because I know you. I've seen you. But they've never had a conversation with them. So think about that when you're prospecting. Think about that too. That's number 6. So, all right, now I'm done for the day. So remember, use me as a resource. Call me, text me, email me. Set up a time. I'll put the time aside to help you with whatever you need. So that's it. Have a great day, great Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. Bye-bye.